And today I would like to show you what we do and show you two of our flagship solutions for Microsoft Exchange. We are a Gold Microsoft partner, independent software developer, and the first product I would like to show you is called CodeTwo Exchange Rules Pro. I will tell you quickly what it does, and then I will just show you the product so that you will not only see the PowerPoint presentation, but the product itself. This is a solution developed for all kinds of mail management on an on-premise Exchange server. It can work with Exchange 2007, 2010, and 2013 as well. Its main focus is on centralized and automated management of email signatures, disclaimers, banners, and so on and so forth. And also the product can do a lot of mail management tasks like automatic forwarding, automatic rerouting, automatic responding. It is also equipped with advanced DLP policies, which is very, very useful for Exchange 2007 and 2010, where there's almost none DLP included, as it is in Exchange 2013. Our product can do a lot in terms of DLP. I will show you in a second what I mean by that. You can also control attachments, control email flow, and it's also very important, the product is adjusted to work in multi-server environments. So it can work in very, very large deployments. We have deployments of around 50,000 users. And it is not a problem for the tool to work on multiple servers. The settings are easily replicated, and I will show in a second how this looks and how this works. When I'm done, my colleague will tell you a little bit about our migration tools, because those are also very, very important for us. We do all kinds of migrations from Exchange to Office 365 and to on-premises Exchange as well. But let me go back to CodeTwo Exchange Rules Pro. I have told you quickly what the tool does, so now let me show you what the tool does. I'll just switch my presenting window, and now you should be able to see my virtual machine. This is Exchange 2013, Windows Server 2012, all the newest service packs, and our program is already installed there. It looks like that. That's the main window of CodeTwo Exchange Rules Pro, with a list of sample rules that are loaded with the program once you install it. I have the program installed here on my Exchange server. That is of course possible, and the main component of the program, its actual engine that processes the messages and the rules, needs to be located on your Exchange, on your Hub Transport or the Mailbox server in case of Exchange 2013. However, the administration panel of the program, so this one, I'm just jiggling around right here, this one can be installed actually anywhere in your domain, any workstation, and if you wish you can even install it outside of your domain and delegate access rights to external contractors, designers, and so on and so forth. It looks like that. This is actually the only window of the program where you create your rules and where you add your actions and so on and so forth. Let me show you quickly how we can create a rule, an action for the program which will process your emails. I will show you quickly one rule in action. I will show you how it adds dynamic signatures, and then I will tell you what are the other people can do, what can be done on your email with this powerful solution. As I said, the first rule will be about a simple signature at the bottom. When you start creating your email rules in our program, you first need to create conditions. Conditions mean you need to define situations in which the program will fill up the signatures and do something to your messages. And actually, this is actually very fun. thousands of combinations of those conditions and exceptions you can use in the program. As you can see, you can add your conditions and base them on basically anything. You can base your conditions on the sender, the recipient, the subject, the body of the email, the direction of the message, type of the message, or whether the messages contain any attachments or not. There's a lot of those conditions. There are AD filters, there are information from the AD. So, and the conditions can be, of course, combined. Here you can see a simple condition for every single message sent by my admin user, which has the address admin@code2.pl, and this user will get a signature, right? But you can combine such a condition with, for example, another condition which will use the message type condition, new email, for example. So now every new email sent by this user will have a signature. Conditions can be combined with logical clauses, and you can have thousands of combinations. So this is the fun part, actually, because there's a lot we can accomplish with the software. Exceptions are defined the same way as the conditions are, and then you move to the actions. And here, in this simple rule, my program will add this signature here. This is a ready-made from templates we provide. You can use it, substitute your own logo, and so on and so forth. You can edit it if you wish in our handy little editor. That, of course, all those fields like first name, last name, title, all that information is dynamically pulled from the Active Directory. The program can pull a lot of information, all of that, and even more. All the explained attributes can be pulled into your footer. You can even pull photos stored in Active Directory. You also provide a tool for that, which is free, actually. So a lot of information can be added to your signature. Okay, I've saved it. The last thing are the options. Here we define what happens if the program performs this action or not, and you can use a scheduler. This is quite a cool feature. It allows you to schedule your rules ahead in time. You can use that for marketing campaigns like holiday campaigns and so on and so forth, which will enable certain rules only during holiday season, for example. All right, now we save your changes. As I said, the program is perfectly adjusted to work in multi-server environments. Here you have a server monitor part. This is a little tool which shows you all the servers with our program installed in your environment. I have only one because this is a single server environment. If you have 2 or 100 servers, all of them will be shown here, and your settings will be instantly and automatically replicated once you change them from any administration console that has the correct access rights in your environment. So this is a unique feature, actually unique to our product, that it can be deployed so easily in huge environments. Right? The replication of the settings is automatic, instantaneous. It doesn't require any additional work on your end. All right, I have submitted my changes. I have saved my signature rule, this one. So now it's time to test it. This is the Outlook web access for my administrator user, and I'll send a new email to myself. Let's call it new test. Hello. And that should be it. I've sent it to myself, so it should arrive in a second. Shouldn't take too much time. And it will have the signature. As you have seen, the signature is not visible while writing because it is added directly on the Explain server, and here it is. Yes, this is my message here. All the information has been pulled from the Active Directory. All of that is here. Probably you want to ask, well, what happens if I don't have a mobile phone, or I don't have a phone, or will there be an empty line in the footer? It wouldn't look professional. You don't have to worry about that. Our program has a special feature which will allow you to, not really, which allow the program to remove such empty lines on the fly. So if there's a user who doesn't have a mobile number in the AD, you wouldn't have any empty spaces in your signature. And thanks to the fact that the program is a server-side solution, signature or all the actions are performed while the message is processed on the server. It supports all kinds of email clients that send messages through your Exchange, whether it's Outlook Web Access like Hill, Desktop Outlook, Outlook for Mac, all kinds of mobile clients, smartphones, tablets, and so on and so forth. They will all be supported, they will all have the signatures, they will all have all the other actions that can be performed by our product. And now I'll just quickly show you what other actions, the important ones, the product can do. There is a whole list of them. It looks like that. Let's go from top to bottom. I'll just tell you something more about the most important ones. The product can handle your attachments, which is this action, add attachment, and also this one, the last one, strip dump attachments. The attachments can be automatically added, removed from the messages, compressed, which is this action. This all can be done. It is used by some of our customers, for example, the attachment compression or removal to reduce the size of the email databases and store the attachments in an external drive, for example, of sorts. You can add recipients, auto-respond, or all the messages. This is all done to email flow management and rerouting. Very important feature is the email format forcing. This is also unique to our product. To allow you to force plain text format of the smartphone and mobile messages to HTML and use the full HTML signatures in such messages. Very, very useful. Almost all of our customers who have this product use this feature, right? So they are able to send messages from their mobile devices with the exact same branding that the messages they send from desktops. So very, very useful. The last important feature I would like to note here is the DLP. DLP policies, which boil down to removing keywords and removing sensitive content. I will just add a quick sensitive content rule to show you what the program does. The program can detect sensitive content in the message. You can add sensitive content detection either in the action or in the conditions. You can add an additional condition, for example, that message body contains sensitive content belonging to, let's say, credit cards category. And if the program detects such a condition, it can then perform certain actions on the message, right? It can block the message, forward it to an administrator, reply to the user, hey, do not do that, do not send such stuff, and so on and so forth. Very, very powerful feature, as I said, especially for Exchange versions below 2013 when there is no DLP. You can edit your categories, right? Your sensitive content categories. You can use certain phrases belonging to categories or credit cards. And when it comes to credit cards, which is also cool, we have added an algorithm. This is a Loon algorithm detection, so our program can intelligently decide whether the number used in the message is a real credit card number or a fake one. Very, very important as well. You will not have false positives with this DLP filter. The program will know whether somebody is sending real credit card numbers or just random numbers. This is actually very, very useful as well. So that we did DLP. Also, last feature I wanted to tell you about, last two features actually. First one will be the email unsubscribe mechanism. We have just added it recently, a few weeks ago, and it allows you to send emails with a professional unsubscribe link to your clients that they will be able to unsubscribe from your newsletters. And now you don't have now to use an external marketing tool for that. You can do it all with CodeTwo Exchange Rules Pro, which is very, very important in some countries due to legal due to rights that they have to do it. And I left it for the very end. All of those actions, all that I have shown you, can be done straight from this program using this administration panel. But also, this is the only of our solutions for which we have released a software development kit with an API. You can download it all from our website, and you can use to create completely custom applications based on the features of our tool. Right? You can create mobile apps to manage your emails. You can create web panels based on the features of this product. So, as I said at the beginning, not only with the conditions and the exceptions, but also with the SDK, the possibilities are quite immense with this little product. Okay, that'll be it. Switch over to my colleague Paul, who will show you our migration tools. So, thank you for listening, and there you go, Paul.
Okay, hello everybody, this is Paul. I'd like to show you the next part of our short presentation. Thank you, Mark, for showing us Exchange Install. Second part will be concentrating on the migration software we have. As you can see on my screen, CodeTwo Office 365 migration, and the second, that's called the clone solution Exchange migration. This software will give you easy migration from any version of Microsoft Exchange to Office 365. It will migrate your emails, calendars, contacts, all the items you have. Also public folders will be migrated with the structure as well. And you can schedule the migration to run in any convenient time that's suitable for you. So this is Office 365 migration. With Exchange migration, it's concentrating on cross-forest and cross-domain scenario, like with the 2003 Exchange to 2013. And what's worth noticing is that no users, basically all the accounts, both the source and the target, are accessible to employees working in the company. So in short, this is what I'll try to write in a moment. Let's see the program. What you see here is Exchange 2010. We'll migrate mailboxes, content of mailboxes from this Exchange to Office 365 platform. Let me show you what we have already. So quickly log in to a test account here. Sorry. Okay, and basically standard mailbox with the calendars, mails, with the public folders as well. As you can see, so we'll concentrate on migrating those public folders. And we'll be going to an Office account, Office 365 account in a moment. So we're here. We'll be migrating the content to this environment. Okay, let's try. The programs console looks the way you can see here at the top. It's more or less standard driven. We can manage migration, start and rescan. We've got scheduler options. Clicking on this, we can actually schedule when we would like the migration to take place. So, for example, I can schedule it to run every day from 5 p.m. till 8 in the morning every day, when the program will pause and then again resume to continue migrating. It's avoid any impact, but as I said, the impact is minimal before, because all those mailboxes and accounts are available to the users when the migration takes place. So scheduler, single control options, and two things we'll have to do before actually running or writing. We'll have to show the server that the program will migrate from. In this case, this is the Exchange server. Also, as you can see, we can migrate directly from Google environment to Office 365 and to Exchange. So in this case, I'll be migrating, I'll be connecting to the source Exchange server here. So what I need to select is the first option. Clicking next will ask me for the Exchange server name and the mailbox name, and I will need administrative mailbox with domain admin's permissions, so the program can connect to the source mailboxes. Next window gives you a selection of what items you can actually migrate. As you can see, virtually all types are accessible. You can of course select and deselect those items. Let's just select them all for start. And another feature is changing EX addresses to SMTP. We'll probably know it allows you to keep SMTP addresses, so after the emails, for example, are migrated, you can easily manage them, also reply to them and forward them with keeping their old email address. And basically that's all. Now the software has to only verify the connection to your source Exchange. It will check the group membership and the connection to the server. Let's do it quickly we got successfully connected. So the part is behind us. Now we need to show the program where exactly we want to migrate this to. So let's select target servers at the top of the ribbon, and let's open the connection here. I'll be connecting to our own Microsoft domain in Office 365. So I also administrate his email account and its password, which is already here. And the program will use it to populate the content changed to Office 365. Okay, it's connecting to Microsoft domain. It checks for impersonation rights and assigns content before, and it will list accounts existing on Office 365 on target location. And basically, right now we are hooked to both environments, to the source exchange and to Office 365. Now in the programs panel, you can see here that we have access to the mailbox database. To the left we've got the server name, we've got the exchange mailboxes here, right? And now we would like to switch them or migrate them to Office 365, so I'll need to simply click to select the target. Window pops up, I'm getting public folders, so let's migrate the public folders starting from start. So I'm just selecting that, and of course the program for licensing, so I have to agree to this. And basically we're ready to start. We have connected to the Office 365 environment. We'll be migrating public folders. Let's just review them. This is a public folders on Office 365. As you can see, it's got only one folder. And we're ready to start. So what I need to do, I need to click start. Now the program will show me the migration status, the time left of the migration. We can also access the program logs. Just wait a moment for the program to start migrating. As you can see, we can have the progress here, showing us how much time is left and what's the current status. We can go now to Office 365 to actually see what happened there. So if I refresh, right, we can see that all public folder appeared. Just to make sure we can, of course, open it, we can see subfolders, calendar, contacts, and so on and so on. Let's verify what exists on the source. Actually, it's pretty much the same. So what just happened is we have just migrated a public folder's content. Basically, a few clicks within the programs console. But there was only one count on one mailbox migration. What happens if you got multiple hundreds, thousands of mailboxes? If you do not want to click manually to select target, you can select all the mailboxes using standard Control-A on your keyboard and use the auto match version or option, and the program will compare your source mailboxes and your target Office 365 account, and it will be checking for a first name last name pattern. Well, typically this is what you want to have when you migrate to a new environment. You want to keep your users' mail addresses as similar as possible. So first name last name pattern is what works. Okay, let's try to match those accounts. It might take a moment. Please remember this is Office 365 connection, and well, actually we have to also be dependent to the speed of Office 365 connection. So usually that may take a moment. But we can see that the program auto-matched some mailboxes. Let's see why it didn't auto-match all of them. So I can review report. As I told you before, it goes by the first name, last name patterns, and the source mailboxes matched to the same first name, last name pattern on Office 365. Public folders we had done already manually. These mailboxes with this pattern simply do not exist. So in such situation, we'll need to migrate them or match them manually. Well, typically, auto-match does the trick for the entire organization. Okay, let's close this. And let's see what we can migrate. Let's go back to mailbox. So we've got test mailbox with some emails. We've got some calendar events, as you can see. We've got contacts. So no new contacts. We can, of course, create them. Let's leave it empty for now. Tasks. We've got some tasks in this sample mailbox we'll be migrating. Now let's see what's in the Office 365 mailbox or account. We'll be migrating the content to, and just switch to Outlook on Office 365. Let's make sure it's empty. So you can see the mailbox has only one technical message. We've got calendar without any appointments and no tasks. Just wait a moment, so I'm sure there'll be no tasks as well, and it's empty. Okay, so let's go back to the migration. Okay, so we auto-matched those mailboxes, and we can now just start the migration. We can also use the read quite useful if you want to add new items that appear in the source mailboxes when the main migration was taking place. You want to use rescan button. It will scan the previously migrated mailboxes to find for some new items, and if such appear, they will be simply migrated to the mailboxes. So let's just rescan this installation. Now we have to wait. As you can see, the program is just started migrating items. It should take a moment. When it's done, we can go and check what was migrated already. It's going 2 mailboxes at a time. You can just go to settings and switch this concurrency setting up to 20. So the program is migrating 20 mailboxes at a time. Okay, I'll just leave it as it is. I'm just waiting for my text to finish migrating. Well, actually to start, and we'll just check what appeared in this target Office 365. Okay, my mailbox is now up and running. Of course, you understand that mailbox is right. Okay, Office 365, as we see, so no tasks. We've got new task right now. Let's go to Outlook. Should be new items appearing. Calendar meetings, which was empty before. Outlook has emails that weren't there before, so it seems we have a success. The migration of this mailbox was successful. So basically this is how the program works. You need to point to the source environment, show the program where to migrate to, and the program is doing the rest for you with minimum impact on the user's mailboxes, giving you the availability of those mailboxes even when the migration is on. You can install it on practically on any computer within your environment. Of course, it doesn't have to be a desktop machine. So I guess that's all. We managed to migrate content of public folders and a test mailbox to Office 365 domain using the software, and this is what I wanted to show you. Thank you very much, and now I'll get back to Martin.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you can see my screen right now. And thanks guys for introducing us to CodeTwo. I think it was very, very interesting. And let us have the last barely 20 to 30 minutes for GWAVA. My name is Martin Etzroth, as you have heard before, and I'm your speaker for the GWAVA content in this webinar. And how I said, in the last 20 to 30 minutes today, I will show you why archiving and security are important tools for Office 365 and Microsoft Exchange on-premise as well. Well, let me first tell you about GWAVA real quick. Our company has 2 main products, which are Retain and GWAVA. We provide unified archiving with Retain and messaging security with GWAVA since over 13 years right now. GWAVA has offices in the United States. Our headquarters is in Montreal, in Canada. We have offices in Germany as well and UK as well. This is why we are a worldwide company, over 200 employees worldwide, and we're just doing indirect sales. We have over 300 authorized and certified partners which are serving 15,000 customers in over 60 countries worldwide. Work very closely with Microsoft, Novell, and also BlackBerry. The first part in this last part of the webinar will be about our anti-spam and antivirus tool GWAVA, and later in this webinar I will tell you about Retain, our powerful archiving tool. So GWAVA. the content of the short introduction of our product GWAVA, and we will definitely just slide it real quick because the time it's not possible on any other way in the time. I will first show you why you should use at least one security solution and why you should use GWAVA. I will show you the features and technologies we use, and at the end I will show you how an installation usually looks like. Let me tell you why it is that important to use GWAVA as your messaging security solution. So you might have heard these points before, but there's still a big increase of spam, viruses, and cyber attacks every day, and GWAVA protects you against all these new threats. When we talk about messaging and emails, we always talk about your business critical data. So that means the data which is created in your company, with the data which you pay your employees for. And data loss prevention of GWAVA protects your critical data, so your business relevant, your business critical data. It protects your end users as well, and last but not least on this slide, GWAVA prevents human failure on your company side. GWAVA stops viruses, spam, and sexual content before it actually enters your messaging system. It uses a multi-layer spam and virus protection, and our possibility to have real individual and granular settings enables you to have a powerful threat protection. Statistics and reports will show you how much your mail server is relieved by connection dropping, for example. And there is a end-user spam control with own quarantine management. Or what is a very big point on all of our products, you can say, you can install them on either on your premises or in the cloud. What engine do we use? Simply called Siren. You might have heard it before. Antivirus on the left side, signature anti-spam engine, IP reputation, and RBL server spoof records are just checked within this engine. So this all comes from Siren, integrated into GWAVA. Additionally, you have the possibility on the right side to set text and address filters, exclude attachments from being sent or received. And how I said before, users have their own web quarantine and get reports of it. So I get a report you can set it, and I get a report, for example, every second day, every second working day, what happened in my quarantine. Furthermore, GWAVA uses conversation tracking to minimize false positives. We slide the technical side real quick. GWAVA can be installed on a SLES or either Windows server, and we have ready software appliance for you running on a SLES 11 SP3. So you can just directly start by installing this appliance. Architecture. So this is how a usual installation looks like. On the left side, we have the big bad internet, and right next to it, you install your GWAVA appliance. Here you can clearly see in this picture that we will take care of all the messages before they even reach your Exchange server, like I said before. What you can else do is the following. You can just run GWAVA in the cloud. So whenever you want to switch to the cloud and don't want to have the GWAVA server load on your premises, you can do it with GWAVA. So we will reduce your Exchange server load, which is always a huge pain point. Our Siren engine leads you to top results, and due to the flexibility of GWAVA, you can use it in any company environment. A good page here, if you want to have a deeper look at GWAVA, check out demo.guava.com for our latest demo installations, and you can just click around and check out GWAVA on your own. Sorry. The second solution is about archiving, and it's a solution every company should use with regards to its Exchange or Office 365 environment. The last few slides are about Retain, and I will tell you more about our unified archive and all the benefits you have by implementing Retain as an archiving solution. At the end, I will show you as well how an installation looks and 3 of our references after it. And this circle here shows you how Retain can look today. We are the only one in the market who can archive email messages, social content, and mobile messages all into one single user archive. You are able to search across all this data and restore it if you need it again. On the Facebook side, it's very interesting. You are able to monitor what's going on in your Facebook within your company. You can set policies, what can be posted and what can't be posted within your company. In the next versions of Retain, it will be even more which we can access and search across. If you want to have more information in that, in what comes, just come back to me after the webinar and I will give you a little insight into our roadmap. So why should an archiving solution be a part of every infrastructure? We split it into 3 big benefits you can have out of implementing a archiving solution like Retain. There are legal benefits, economic benefits, and technical benefits. So from a legal point of view, compliance is a topic then on everyone's to-do list, and you can be totally compliant to all laws and regulations with Retain. Furthermore, you are not only compliant, you will also have something to prove in any case of litigation. So if you go to court with any customer or something, you will just have something to prove in your archiving system. From an economic perspective, there are a few benefits too. For example, we are using the deduplication technology, which saves up to 60% storage compared to a live mailbox. So compared to an Exchange live mailbox, we save up to 60% storage. How do we do that? We just imagine you're sending a Christmas party invitation to all of your employees. You have 500 employees, 500 mailboxes, and you're sending this 5 MB attachment to all of across the company. What happens in Exchange now is that every mail and every attachment is stored in every single mailbox. So it just wastes your storage. What we do while archiving is we use single instance technology for just storing every attachment and every email once into our archive. And this is why Retain saves up to 60% instead of a live mailbox. Retain increases the end-user efficiency as well. Due to its great search tools and the possibility to restore items on a user level, you have a highly increased user efficiency. And the last point here, technical benefits. From a technical point of view, Retain relieves your infrastructure. You just keep the live database empty because everything is archived and can't be deleted. For example, you can just keep, for let's say, the last 6 weeks of the content in the live system. The rest of it stays in the archive and can be deleted out of the live mailbox. Retain either relieves your IT department because it doesn't have to take care of restoring items, searching for content and things like that. It doesn't have to take care of the user's workflow anymore. Within Retain, we provide powerful tools, how I said before, for end users, but as well for administrators. So you can directly restore your items. You can set a litigation hold to emails which you don't want to lose. And if PST files is a big pain point in your environment, our PST migration tool will archive all PST files into the user's archive as well. So if you want to get rid of PST files, do it with Retain. The end user access. to the archive is in his usual Outlook Outlook client and within the Retain web interface. So you can uses almost every device with the Retain web interface, and for his usual work he will use the Outlook add-in. Export and publish functions give you a lot of possibilities, for example, in case of litigation, like I said before, or a financial audit. What does Retain require? Retain can be installed on either Windows or SLES as well. And the storage point, we support every local mounted disk, every SAN, and have native integration to EMC, Centera, and NetApp. So for NetApp, for example, we are supporting their snaplog function directly. Database is a big point and a big pain point in having a look at archiving solutions, and we give you the freedom of choice here. That means we support MySQL and MySQL even in the Community Edition, MS SQL, PostgreSQL, and Oracle. So 4 databases you can choose for having Retain one in it. How does an installation look like? Well, on the left side, you see those servers, and you have your Exchange servers. You have maybe one or more than one Exchange server with the mailboxes on it. The user heads here, let's say it's your Active Directory, it's a user directory. In the middle, we add the Retain server installed on a SLES or Windows machine you've chosen before, and you have chosen before a database and a storage as well. So, and the only thing we have to do then, and that's a big point as well, because oftentimes people think implementing a third-party archiving solution means downtime for my system, users can't access, and it's a major operation. It is not. The only thing we have to do is this. We just add the single user here to your Active Directory, and this user has application impersonation rights. What we do then is connect. There's an API called EWS, Extended Web Services from Exchange, and we connect through this API with this user we've just added to your Active Directory. And this user RISE especially, enables us to work with the files and to archive everything into Retain. What you can else do, guess what? You can install Retain in the cloud as well. And how I told you before, it's the end user can have access via Outlook add-in or web interface from Retain. Let me show you a few scenarios, a few references we have. Here we go. The first one is our customer Albert Guss with 600 mailboxes. Albert Guss wanted to get rid of all their decentralized PST files. So they had PST files all across the company, and not on a server, on a special folder or something. It was decentralized all across the company. And they got rid of the PST files with our PST migration tool. So what we did is we archived every PST file to the user's archive where it belongs to again. But additionally, we supported their migration from Open Exchange to Exchange, and this is what you usually don't have in mind when you're thinking about archiving solution. But we can support you in every migration, in every update which is upcoming in your environment, because we just keep them. That's the same point. Like we're relieving your mailboxes, we're relieving your live database, we're relieving it before you start migrate or before you start updating. And migrating or updating a smaller database is way less time and way less stress for you to migrate or update. So if you have any migration or update upcoming, just keep GWAVA in mind. Gudrun Sjöden is a fashion label out of Sweden. And this is a fun story, actually. The administrator came to us on an event and had just one big issue. They have 40 to 60 gigabyte mailboxes, and users were not able to search across them anymore. Better, they were not able to find any content they would like to find. He used a third-party tool before implementing Retain, just for searching across the mailboxes. After the implementation, the users were able to find their content again and didn't have to talk to the IT department for search and restoring items. And the last point here, again, please don't think it's a major operation to implement Retain. Due to the simple installation, we were done in 4 hours at the 150 users here of Gudrun. So 150 users and the installation of an archiving solution is done in 4 hours. The last reference I want to show you today is the Ritz-Carlton in London. And that was a classical reason they had to achieve compliance by implementing Retain. But additionally, we migrated their whole group by server to the new Exchange environment. So what you should know there, if you are staying on group buys and want to switch to Exchange, we have a native migration toolkit for this. So we switch your whole group by server to an Exchange or Office 365 system. I think Retain pays off. It's not just an archiving solution, and we heard it before at CodeTwo content. We're talking about email management, and I see it as an email management tool as well. Retain is not only a archiving tool. Within Retain, you will be compliant to any law and regulation in your country. Your critical data is stored and can't be edited or deleted. And Retain relieves your infrastructure. It just keeps all the stuff away from your live database. That was the example. Just keep the last six weeks in your live database, and the database is kept empty. Your IT guys will thank you, because they don't have to take care of the users and the users' mail workflow anymore. Due to the better search and the possibility to restore items directly, there's a highly increased user efficiency. So, thank you very much. That was it from my side. If you want to hear more about our products, want to have a live demo or anything, I will show you. Just come back to me after the webinar, and we will come to your questions right now. So, Paul and Matt back?
Yes, yes, Martin.
Okay, we have a few questions here for you.
Okay.
What about CodeTwo rules for Office 365? Sure. Thomas Persson was asking.
We do have a product called CodeTwo email signatures, which can work for with Office 365. This is a solution which is similar to the one I have shown you, but it only works for email signatures. So signatures, banners, disclaimers, and so on and so forth. We support that for Office 365. However, all the other mail management features like DLP, rerouting, forwarding, we do not have that yet. But when it comes to email signatures, branding, and disclaimers, then of course we got it covered for Office 365 as well.
Okay. I hope that answered your question. The next one is, does it also work with organizational units group Active Directory?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Does it also work, the CodeTwo rules, with organizational units groups?
Yes, of course. I didn't show that during the presentation because there are so many conditions that it will take hours to show you all of them. But yes, OUs are supported as well.
That was asked by Thomas Persson as well. So we have this too. Are the signatures added inline or appended to the end of the thread?
Both options are possible. This can be configured.
Okay. Is it possible to have different signatures depending on which AD group the sender is a member of?
Yes. This is also connected with organizational units. You can base the signatures on AD groups, organizational units, single AD users, or you can use an extensive AD filter which can pull data from any 80 fields basically and base your signatures on departments, locations, and so on and so forth. So yes, that's possible. It's possible to have different signature for one group, for the other group, and it can also combine it with the other conditions, like with direction, so whether the message is sent outside or inside of your company, whether it's a new message, a reply, a forward, and so on.
Great. Nick Anderson, hopefully it answered your question. Akash Jotgand did ask, is the dictionary for content filtering auto-updated?
Sorry?
The dictionary for content filtering. Is it auto-updated?
Auto-updated.
I think, sorry, this is Paul, I think I understand. The DLP gives you the dictionary of the phrases that are checked by the software. It's not automatically updated, however you can manually edit new phrases and new word groups. So the answer is no, it's not automatically updated, however you can edit basically manually anything from scratch and create your own DLP groups.
Okay. Are there any issues if you are connected, this is a migration thing, are there any issues if you are connected between Office 365 and on-premise as an hybrid already?
No, there shouldn't be any issues. The program looks and checks what's in your Office 365 environment. I understand these mailboxes are created, let's say, locally on-premise, right, on your AD. But if there's an account existing in Office 365, the migration software is able to migrate the content directly to this account, so there shouldn't be any issues.
Okay. Asked by Nick Anderson as well. Hopefully answered.
Thank you, Nick.
There's one for me. How does Retain work with mobile devices? It's our different mobile devices we can serve, so we can archive iOS devices, Android devices, and BlackBerry devices as well. The easiest way to, for example, capture BlackBerry devices is the best server. But if you want to have a deeper insight in how we archive those things, just come back to me after the webinar. Feel free to just write down my email address and come back to me with an email. I will come back to you and show you if it's necessary. Did I answer your question, Glenn? Hopefully. The next one. Are the PowerPoint decks shown in this webinar at your website? Every attendee will get an email afterwards with both of the presentations. Okay. So the PowerPoints will be shared with you. Is there any specifications that signatures should meet for CodeTwo? Any specs for signatures?
No, there are no any pre-requirements, nothing like that. In our editor, you can design any signatures you wish. Actually, they don't have to meet any specifications. We support images, as you said. We support inline signatures. The image can be embedded, so added directly into the body or web linked. So basically, everything is possible. And no, there are no requirements or specifications for the signatures.
Great. Konstantinos did ask that, hopefully answered. How do we enable full signature for first reply of a new mail?
Yeah, this is also easy. This can be done with the conditions of our program. So let's say you create the first rule, and one of the condition will be message type new message, and there you can create a full signature with images and links and social media icons and so on. And in the next rule, you create a signature with the message type condition, replies and forwards, and there you can create a simplified signature just with the name, surname, email link, and so on. This is possible, of course.
Terry Trewitt did ask which coding languages are supported in the API of CodeTwo.
Sorry, could you repeat?
Terry Trevitt did ask which.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. I got it. API. Actually, that will be a question to our developers. If you could give me the email address of the person asking like that with the developers, because basically I do not have the answer for that. But of course, I'll have that checked for you.
Okay. There's one for me again. Hi Martin, could retain be configured in best scenario with Exchange 2010? Yeah, this is possible. You mean if it can be archived next to Exchange 2010? This scenario is possible. So everyone who didn't get his question answered, I'm sorry, but we have to end the webinar right now. But please come back to us with your questions via email, and a lot of attendees already wrote they will come back via email because it's too complicated to ask around here. Again, thank you very much for attending this webinar. Thank you, CodeTwo, for being our partner in this webinar. And
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Martin, and thank you for the important.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye.